Hello and welcome to the skating lesson. I'm Dave Leese.
And I'm Jonathan Byer. Hi, Dave. Is that like a Merlot colored turtleneck? That's pretty.
It is a Merlot colored turtleneck, and my Matthew Caron costume is going to be like black and this in the same little thing getting together. Yes.
Nice.
Nice. Nationals. Yes. This is this and that. Welcome to the skating lesson. Здравствуйте, урок фигурное катание. Фигурного катания. I think Igor told me. Yes. Okay. Just too excited. Okay. Lots happening this week. Yes, I did my measurements for the Matthew Caron costume, and
Are you getting an accompanying mask?
I did ask him. You know, Matthew didn't write me back when I asked him how much. I asked him two questions. I said, how much is the accompanying mask, and how much is it to look as hot as Madison Chalk? Those are just like my two things. You know,
one's a number and one is priceless. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I just wanted to know, like, face included, like, how does it work? But yes, this is what we needed to know for the year. Yes, we're getting closer to adult national season. So
like the season officially begins when for you?
Usually the season starts with the sectionals in March and the nationals in April, and then the worlds or the ISU adult competition in Stuttgart, which everyone considers like adult worlds, those are in May. Although there's now also like there was a competition like Placid in the fall. It got called off because of COVID, but yeah, these are the kinds of things that are happening in the adult world. And then they have like a winter games that they had going on, and those were in Austria, and Midori Ito was skating in the pairs. So like to see Midori Ito skate pairs and go to the country with the sound of music, what could be better in life? Okay.
If I was skating pairs with Midori, I would want her to throw me.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
She loves skating.
Yes, she does. Through and through.
She really loves skating.
Yeah.
So, this year it's all pushed back because of COVID, and we're trying to see, you know, not everyone on the adult committee is as firmly rooted in reality as others. Some are also like eternal optimists. So, but right now the situation in Michigan is not ideal, right? Like the numbers are going up. So will it be in person or will it be moved virtually? I don't think it'll be canceled, but I think if anything, it'll be moved virtually like other things have been. So I kind of think like for my first pancake back in many years and for not competing this year, if it went virtually, not the end of the world, but it doesn't have the same excitement as in person.
Of course.
So
yeah.
I think that there are pluses and minuses to both. I just hope that it goes on because I've been working towards the goal. And when you work, I'm always the kind of person that like, I need to work towards something.
Yeah.
And when I get there, good or bad, it's like, okay, then we can move forward. But I think if it got canceled, I would be disappointed.
And again, we've seen it from all the elite athletes all season. It's like, are we striving for a nationals? Are we not striving for a nationals? I although it's not as fun to see, I kind of understand why some people checked out in the fall.
Well, you know? I didn't think that we were going to have adult competitions this year based on we weren't hearing anything, and at that point in time the numbers are really bad, and not realizing that they could just push back until June and that would be the option. And I was like coming back, but you have to realize I got like an ankle injury, and then I had COVID. Like there were so many things going on, like I was like, I don't know if we're competing this year. And then boom, it all came to be. So I was just kind of focusing on improving and seeing what happens, and I wasn't thinking much about getting ready for competition. I was just focusing on improving. And then it's like, it definitely just sped up the pace of improvement once we
revved up that intensity you were feeling.
Yes. By the way, you know how they say, you know, in addiction, when someone relapses, they come back at their highest level of using.
Okay.
The skating addiction has come back like at its highest level of use.
Okay.
You know, like it's, you know, we're spinning at 6 a.m. in the morning. Like we're getting it done. Okay.
All of a sudden. Okay. Got it.
Yes, we're getting it done. Okay.
Identify with that.
Yeah. So it's okay. It's like once, go mode. Got it. Okay. Yeah. I'm sure many people here can attest to the same thing.
I think so too. Yeah.
So, we'll see what happens. I did see Caitlin Weber choreographing this week.
Oh, amazing. Like on Instagram or something?
No, like in person.
At the rink. Incredible.
To Billie Eilish for this girl.
Oh my gosh. Is Billie Eilish is the new Carmen? You know, we don't even
Billie
hear.
Eilish really is the new Carmen, but it was totally age appropriate for like this. I don't know, the girl was like a younger teenager, I think. I don't know, everyone looks young to me these days. So I want to say she was like 13, 14. Maybe she's a little older, a little young.
Okay.
I think maybe around 14. Yeah, maybe a little older.
I bet someone like Caitlin Weaver brings a fun energy to that.
She has a current energy, I would say. Yeah. And she seems to love skating. So I think she has a lot to say as a choreographer, maybe even more than she did like as a competitor. Like it seemed, I don't know, she was just like really grooving with this girl. I was impressed. So
yeah.
It was like they had this, it wasn't just a mix of Billie Eilish, it was a trap remix. So it's going from Billie, you know, like you're skating and you're like, wait a second, like this reminds me of an Eteri girl, and then like the beat is dropping and you're like, oh, whoa, okay,
twist. Yeah.
Skating is moving light years forward because of these Russian girls and this Billie Eilish. She's getting skating into the current era.
Trendsetters, yeah, exactly.
The days of like Rondo Capriccioso and Piano Concerto No. 2, they are
so
long.
Funny because Megan brought this up, and I think someone else brought it up. That they're like, you know, oh, not another Warhorse classical piece. And I was sort of like, if you actually look at the climate, it's much more, you know, you can count on one hand the number of classical pieces being used. I don't consider them overused or mainstays, maybe like she felt when she was competing very early on. I was like, now you're the unusual one if you do have sort of an iconic sort of classical piece or balletic piece, I find.
So I find that skating has moved in a direction where a full orchestration sounds so big it almost sounds dated for an ice arena, not for, I think a great classical piece is timeless, right? I think in the skating realm and in the style of choreography that's been very influenced by Marie France and then this current like Danny G-esque thing, it's a lot of minimal instrumentation. So they don't have a ton of instruments is what I've noticed, right? Yeah. Like it's usually a couple.
It's like a thinner fabric a little bit.
Yes. So I notice that when I hear a full orchestra, it almost feels dated or it feels too big for the skater.
Heavy for some. Yeah. Yes. I agree.
And I just think that that's a musical style. I don't think that it had to be. So I think like the piece that I'm doing, which is the middle of Shcherbakova's Free, is again, that same style. And it's almost like new classical, you know, like it's like new written in that fashion, but
okay. Yeah.
I don't
more
know
lightly orchestrated kind of stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Because sometimes when this music starts, especially, and it's such right off the get-go, this huge sort of epic sound, it's hard to match it. How can you match the grandness of that sound right off the bat? It's tough.
And I have to say the people that I think have really, when I think of pieces that really moved skating in this direction, it's that A Naughty Circles piece that I think Olivia Smart and Adrian Diaz were the first ones that I heard use that. And that's from, it's a piece based on a Naughty experience, but it's Circles by that Bedezabo Bach. I think if I didn't butcher that name. And there's, you know, that Adam Rapon, the Arrival of the Birds, which he mixed with the O, I think that piece, even Tessa Virtue in Scott, when they did the Latch program, the first part of that had like a very specific sound. And I think that all of these things musically have kind of moved skating in that direction. Then you get the person like singing like in this shirt. And I think it's just all, and I think pendulums swing back and forth. But I do think that like I'm thinking about my music for next year. And I'm more of an old fashioned, but I'm thinking, is there a way that I could take an old fashioned piece and have the brilliant Hugo Chouinard and Carl Hugo like add something to it to make it something that is classical, but to like enhance a little bit, to like add something just to make it a little more.
Well, because also like for those that are just looking at sort of straightforward classical, not everything has to be huge and orchestral. There's so much solo cello or just a piano piece, you know what I mean? That could also open up a lot of colors to play with, I think, instead of just enormous orchestral sounds and concerto-like sort of music. But
yeah, because I was even looking at, like you look at like Henry V with Paul Wiley, like something you love to make, it does sound dated. Like I couldn't imagine putting it on now versus 5 years ago.
Right.
It sounds so 90s dated when you listen to it. So it's just
yeah, it's all these connotations that all this music carries, of course, also.
Yeah.
Within skating, I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, within skating and within, I just think the music has changed, but also I think that a lot of these pieces that we hear that are like these, like classical style, type music that's written, or like an Eric Radford. These are often things that you could hear like in a TV show. If you're watching like a Reese Witherspoon show, you'd almost like hear it in the background and be like, oh, that's a nice piece of music. It's just like that.
To trigger emotions out of that scene normally. So it can kind of manipulatively work the same way for skating. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that that's a lot of where these pieces come from. And yeah.
And again, it's so different the way the piece will sound when you're listening on your earbuds or when it's blasting over an arena. The acoustics of an arena are not designed necessarily for certain types of music. As we've mentioned, Gracie's Gershwin music done with the violin. In person, I mean, it's a piece originally for piano, and it's probably very cool in person, but when you put it over that kind of sound system and that kind of system, it's a totally different.
The worst is like it's always an old sound system in the practice rink that has like an adapter plugged in. What that does to sound, I mean,
yeah.
There's no balance. It's boom. So it's a distortion. So yeah, I think that all of this plays a role.
I even go back and forth when certain broadcasts, like we've talked about, will pipe in the sound on top of the video. So we don't necessarily hear the arena or, ice sounds. Yeah, it's like, and sometimes it makes the music better, but often we sense that disconnect from the skater and what they're.
It's never exactly in time. And you also don't hear the reaction in time or the sound of landing. Right. I noticed that is the biggest, it drives me bonkers.
Yeah.
Even they do it in gymnastics too. Sometimes at like the University of Utah meets, they used to do this. It would drive me insane.
Yeah.
Just, I can immediately pick it out. And feel like a crazy person.
Something feels fake about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, yes. It would be when they did the Audrey Wizziger Young Artist Showcase competition, I think they brought it back, but I could always tell which people just let it play in the arena and which people would try to edit over it. That way they could kind of get their best take or their best performance of it. And it just did not work as well.
Okay, fair enough.
It takes you out of the performance, out of the emotion, as Sandra would say. It's her birthday this week. Happy birthday, Sandra Bezic.
I wonder if Sandra ever, at the opening of one of her Stars on Ice tours, skated around in a spotlight, just pointing to people she's choreographed for. Do you think she would ever do something like that?
I think that she should, because I think that Sandra has choreographed different kinds of music, different styles of skaters that wear costumes that don't all look alike, just different aesthetics.
Varying music, totally different approaches to a variety of programs that all became iconic. Yeah.
So if you were to go see Christy do, I don't know, an In Vogue number, and then turn around and you've got like Kurt doing, You Must Sing It in the Rain, and then you have someone else, it would be a variety. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
When you have a bunch of girls that are all one style of music and they all look so much alike, hair color, body type, dress.
Yeah.
To me, it's just like so funny just watching this.
Well, it would be like also, even if you had like a runway show and everyone came out in the same dress.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm not really understanding what kind of brushes this man is painting with.
And with the amount of money that they are pumping in to Russian skating. I don't want to accuse the people of like abusing a system to just get more profits for themselves, but I do believe that packaging of skaters is a product, and there's a certain amount of esteem and a certain amount of reputation that is attached to it, right? The way something looks, right? The way something.
I know everyone thinks it's terrible and like as if we're the only people that will think about the packaging of a skater, but we know very much.
Everyone talks about the dress. How many articles are going to be about the dresses? This.
Right. And how many PCS scores are going to be influenced by external factors like the packaging? Yeah.
Like choreography, music, dresses, right? Why not call up Matthew Caron? Why not call up Lisa McKinnon? Russian dresses, none of them have a waist. They all look exactly the same and they age the skaters. And often the hairstyles do as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm sure Russia has a very exciting fashion scene. If you want to keep it Russian, go within. I'm sure they have tremendously talented.
They do use a dress designer who is Russian. I just don't know that she's extremely inspired in figure skating, or I don't know, just seeing her. I recently watched the Evgenia documentary 1 in Million, and like watching her make the Anna Karenina dress. I don't know that this is just the solo designer, that I think it's all much with like the Danny G choreography and the miming and the dresses. Just it's heavy. It's
and in this show,
right?
For those that don't know, we're referring to this Eteri show that came out, and it's on YouTube, and it opened with Danny G in a spotlight pointing to all these girls. But there were also some peculiar moments, like I wasn't understanding the teddy bear situation where she started with a teddy bear in a red coat, takes off.
This is Anna Shcherbakova.
And in a menacing way at the end, like grips the teddy bear by the neck with an.
She's skating to that song, like Everybody Wants to Rule the World or something like that.
And I didn't understand that ruling the world equated to murdering a teddy bear.
You know, and that's become her brand. You know how Hanyu has Pooh? Anna has that character. I don't know if it's a cartoon or something.
I see. Okay.
That's become her item.
Dicing brand, kind of. Okay.
Like in skating, like everyone has their own little cartoon / thing now. Since, you know, Johnny had the Shabrushka, Hanyu has Pooh. It's become a thing.
Yeah.
Trusova has those yappy little dogs. Like, you know, they're like biting her hair in every interview. Yes, it's okay.
Yep.
But yeah, you remember Zhenya? She had Sailor Moon. She had whatever this was. Yes, the whole.
Michelle Kwan just kept it to her like Carol Burnett sort of like routine, and
and then she had the necklace from her grandma, and I always wondered, like, do you wear that?
Red string.
The red string, like. And you've ever had a necklace that had like a string on that you would make in the summer at like the swim club? Those strings would always fall apart. I always wondered, like, does Michelle take this off before showering? Like, how does that string stay so nice?
Yeah.
You have multiple red strings?
Maybe you open her closet and there's 7.
And I tried to ask Michelle about it once, and I think she was like looking at me like I was a crazy person, but I don't think Michelle ever went to like a summer swim club or town. You know, I don't think she had that part of her childhood, so I don't think she got like
Goodwill Games instead. Yeah,
like she didn't make friendship bracelets like during the Adult Swim, so I don't think she got that reference, but I did.
Yeah. And the viewers. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So I noticed that. Kostornaia is like growing this program. Okay, last week I wasn't so into the program, and I don't know if some of it was the angle, and she looked nervous the first week that she was performing. Each time Kostornaia has performed lovely, it has gotten better and better and better, and her jumps have gotten better. And
right? They seemed higher in this video.
Rotated. The flip is more organized on the takeoff and on the entry pattern. Then she's doing flip Euler triple sow. I mean, she's got a long way to go, but the girl's climbing back. She has her confidence back.
She's faster.
And she's performing.
Yeah.
She did not have this great edge quality with Blushenka. And some of it, I think, is she wasn't as confident. She wasn't as in shape. She has gotten back. And I was debating this with the skater. In about 4 or 5 weeks, however much time since she switched camps, she's gotten back in shape. Not knowing how her body feels, but she exudes more confidence to me. Mm-hmm. And because she seems to be in a more positive space, it looks like more things are happening on the ice and she's trying harder. The spins are done, through the Bielman, and she's not quitting on it. And it all just looks more trained, and she's looking, even though she's not doing the triple axel, and maybe some of the triple she would do in shows in the past, I think she looks more like herself on the ice.
Well, and even as something as simple as she's looking up more instead of this kind of like looking down, almost like apologizing for the skating or the program. There's just an aura of confidence. Yeah.
I actually really like the program. There's like little moments where like she, with her toe pick, she like goes backwards twice when she turns, and she has this great falling leaf that First Channel really missed on the broadcast because she does that into like a skid, and the step sequence, she is just working it and performing it. But I have to say, I'm not sad that she left Eteri and went to Plushenko and like that we didn't see this program all year, because the program is hated by some. I know you don't like it.
I don't hate it. It's just
the short program that she did, the Billie Eilish. I mean, two things stick out to me about that program, and it's just a sequence where she has the imaginary crown, and then she does this big old bracket, like right in front of the judges, like bam. She's made brackets happen for me, okay? She's made me love a bracket, okay? She just, bam, does this like big bracket in front of the judges. And as someone who's working on my gold moves and intermediate moves and works on those brackets, I'm like, wow, this is what this could actually look like one day, because those moves patterns are so dated that it's not the way Kostornaia is doing her bracket, but she gives hope, okay?
Okay.
That's, wow, okay, I want to do a bracket like that, okay?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the imaginary crown, I was like, who is this girl? Yes. Okay.
Amazing. Okay.
Literally seeing herself in a crown. Jonathan, we would have never gotten that, okay? We would have never gotten that. Not only is she European champion, she literally imagines herself wearing a crown. And that makes her more interesting to me. The highs, the lows, the comeback, it has made her a bigger star. Okay? Makes me love her more.
Yeah, there's so much more to pay attention to. Yeah.
She has attitude, she has sass, she's a little bit of scandal. Oh, people were mad that I like brought up the thing about Sergei Razanov like last week, which was apparently that's not allowed to be discussed in some forums. I said what I said, I meant it. I don't think it's appropriate, but it did happen. Right? And it was, no, I don't think it's appropriate. Yes, it happened. And we've moved along. She's back in her training environment. So
yeah.
Anyway, I'm just like, I don't know about this girl for next year. She's like an excitement factor to the Olympic year. Remember last Olympics, I felt not as excited as usual because everyone was going back and using these pieces of music that they had already used before, or everyone was kind of phoning it in before the last Olympics, and it wasn't as exciting. Now I'm thinking, oh, we have someone on the comeback trail. We've got Valieva being added. It just kind of coming out of COVID, I feel like it's adding this new level of interest and excitement.
Before the Worlds, obviously the Russian female team for the Olympics was always an interesting conversation. And yet I think after Worlds, it got even more interesting again. With Tuktamysheva's success, whatever that goes, it's more of a factor maybe than it would have been before. And I think seeing Kostornaia in these shows, you're like, well, this is more of a story than maybe I was anticipating.
Tuktamysheva with the hair down.
In the green sparkles.
The green sparkle, like sexy nightgown. Now, I enjoyed her rendition of Shallow. Maybe even make it into a free, I don't know. But why does it switch to Bradley Cooper for 5 seconds where she like lays at the ice and she got off of that ice too quickly? This is a girl who knows how to have a mood, but she didn't know that you have to just lay there. You have to lay there and let the audience just
take it in.
Take it in.
Yeah.
And just shower you with applause. Because she got up right away and it was like, no, you got to hold it. You got to hold it. I know it's cold. I know the ice is freezing, but if you're going to go for the moment, just.
And she did come up slightly disheveled. Like, yeah.
I mean, Bradley he had a moment with all of us, but I just, come on. She was taken by the music, Jonathan.
Yes, more than I was taken with the music, for instance, with whatever that violin situation.
I wanted to ask you about this.
I was afraid you were going to ask me about it. And I'll just say it was a tough moment for me and I don't know how to comment on it.
It was a tough moment for me for several reasons. One, her triple saut was great. It was great to see Elisabet Tursynbaeva again. I didn't know if we would ever see her skate in a show again. I don't think she'll be coming back for the Olympic year.
I don't think she'll be making any New York Phil auditions either in the near future. Yeah.
It reminded me of Star Andrews when she decided to not do the entire One Moment in Time karaoke and instead do like 60% her vocals and then bring in Whitney. Okay, and I want to word this the right way.
Okay, yeah.
Both for Star and Tursynbaeva. If you do yourself doing like a cover of something, I believe you have to go 100% with it.
Come in.
Here's why. To the viewer's ear, especially if anyone has any knowledge of music or has ever heard One Moment in Time or has watched every Whitney Houston documentary and read every book about Whitney, you know, there's just like when they're a part of our cultural fabric and you just like love them so much.
And it's really the voice of a generation. I think Whitney Houston, Pavarotti, the best voices during my lifetime.
I'm not shading Star because I think she did a very nice cover and like it's campy and it's fun and
but it was lovely.
But then when you juxtapose it by putting the original, it just makes it feel like a cheap comparison when you force that comparison together, right? So when Tursynbaeva was playing the violin, which I choose to believe was out of tune, okay? I choose to believe that it was...
to believe it was out of tune. It was out of tune.
Okay, like no one tested the strings, like, I don't know. Like
what I will say is Star's cover
was more in tune and racked.
10,000 times more successful than this particular violin moment.
But do you get what I'm saying about like juxtaposing? Because you go from playing a very out of tune violin to then the real Vanessa Mae comes in and is playing, and then Elisabet starts playing the violin on top of, and was there like a microphone in this out of tune violin? Like, how are they making it happen? I don't imagine that sound.
I don't think it's necessarily the violin that's out of tune because it can be played out of tune. Do you know what I mean? So it's very like
Cirque du Soleil when they play it and like it's like smoky. You got like the big like like the European drunk looking guys that are playing the violin. Da, 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 da. I'm here for that. Yeah.
This was a tough moment.
This was horrifying. What was happening, Jonathan? Because it was like,
and I also think it just speaks to the taste level. Like maybe
they have no taste. Danny G has zero taste, and you know what?
I know that maybe that's not the right choice.
Why is Eteri always wearing jeans? Okay, like here's the thing. She's basically the queen of Russia, right? She's like the queen of Russian skating. Why jeans? This is not equestrian. I don't think that we're gonna like go out back and ride a horse after this, Eteri. Like,
side saddle.
I'm not saying that she needs to like wear a dress. Like, she could get some nice, what my grandmother called them, slacks from.
I was just gonna say slacks. Isn't that funny?
You know, she can go to Saks Fifth Avenue. She could wear something, right? Yeah. She just looks like dress up. Like, I've heard that Irina Wiener is her idol, and I choose to believe that Eteri will one day be the head coach of Russian figure skating. And if not, who's pretending otherwise? Because I was like, oh, anytime I see Davidov with someone that has like a quad with talent, I'm like, oh, okay, Eteri can take her now. I think this is the time. Or Panova. They're just feeders into Eteri. They're never going to have a champion on their own. Like, I'm not even, like, there are people that really believe that like Team Davidov or like the Snow Leopards, that they have like an equal chance of winning. I'm like, they don't have the judges. And if they have anyone with talent worth training, we're just going to send them off to Sambo.
Right.
So why are we pretending otherwise? Okay, let's just like build one big ass palace, like one big Putin summer palace, and have Eteri coach all the rinks. Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, she's looked tired this year. Okay, she didn't even look excited at the Worlds. To only go for one skater in the ladies event.
She was much more excited. She was much more invested, it seemed, in nationals. That was for sure.
Yeah. Okay, that was exciting for her. This, she's seen Anna Shcherbakova skate every day for the last 10 years. You think that's thrilling for her?
The Russian national final was more competitive than the ladies final at the World Championships. So
more stressful, more, right? She was like, I mean, Fine, we'll go to Sweden. I'll get another gold medal. Great.
I was intrigued though.
She's still ticked that last year they didn't get their sweep. Okay, like that would have been exciting.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
But it's I would like you to dress up for the Olympics. Okay, I want some glamour. I want us, like, we like your coats. We got into them. We like your bags. I think Putin should give you a raise. And I think it's time to maybe get a stylist. Not just for your skaters, okay? I just think Eteri has had some taste issues since we first met her. Remember that jean jacket? You know, I follow her sisters, all of them, on Instagram. I think Marina has some real style and flair to her. Maybe bougie, but she's got some style. And then the other sisters who she wasn't following for a while, I don't know if they followed now, you know, Angelina and the other one, the woman that starts with an M, not Marina, Mila, you know, they have some style. They look like rich Russian ladies they look mean, they look wealthy, and they look like don't
mess with us. Yeah.
No. I think that Eteri, we need an upgrade for the Olympics, okay?
Okay. A glow up.
Listen.
Yeah.
I always want to see what Irina Wiener is wearing. Okay, I want to see what she's going to look like. The jeans,
they don't fit the persona. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But I was intrigued who they were inviting here, because obviously it was very much like a Sambo 70 parade in many ways.
And the other champions that got to be in their presence.
Yeah, that's what I was intrigued by, because
she's having her own champions on ice. Oksana Baiul was a little salty about it.
I heard about that. Yeah.
But remember, I think it was kind of silly that Oksana was salty, but remember, if you've watched that recent Vegas interview with Oksana and that husband, who they also have an IMDb that they're making a remake of a Sonja Henie. They're making a Sonja Henie movie where Oksana's going to star as Sonja Henie. And I don't know that movie's ever actually happening. Like, I don't know how that IMDb page came to be. I don't know. I don't know. I just, you know, some things you just let wash over you. You know, I don't believe that we'll ever see this happen. As I never believed that we were going to see Oksana on Broadway. I didn't believe it. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't think it was really going to happen.
Yeah.
It's hard to get to Broadway, Jonathan. Okay, you can't just say like, I want to get, you know, there have to be previews. You have to do well out of town. Like, you know, a lot of shows get killed, right?
Yeah, it's true.
And I didn't know that Oksana was enough of a vocal talent to carry a Broadway show. It was my just thought.
Yeah.
I didn't know if she was Patti LuPone, okay?
Right. But we have learned today, if she does do that, don't put Patti LuPone on right after you.
Right, yes.
Yes, exactly. Okay.
Don't have like her be the champion from the past that is also still skating, right? And singing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Oksana's husband, it's on this episode, said that he bought the name rights from the Collins to Champions on Ice. A show that Oksana was once let go from. He bought it so that she could, and like Oksana was like crying about Tom Collins in the interview, like what he did for her career, which was charming and lovely. And that they want to have like a Vegas show with Oksana, you know, and they thought that because of the pandemic, you know, Oksana was the first person to really skate in a mask in that Genie program. So
amazing.
I mean, Jonathan, we certainly would go to see this production.
I think we'd have to write it off as a business expense. Recently.
Right?
Yeah.
I would go. I don't know if the whole public would go.
No, but I think the super fans would go. You bet.
But I do think we have said for years that if they called Tanya Harding and Surya, that thing would sell out. Okay?
It would make so much money.
Especially if you got like Adam Rapon and Johnny and added like a topless review aspect to it. You know, this is how we got to sell skaters.
Yeah, okay. There's something there.
So maybe she felt that Eteri was stealing the rights to Champions on Ice because she didn't like the title, she didn't like the format, and I didn't know if there was something there, but.
Interesting.
Listen, Galina says that you have to be a difficult personality to get to the top. Or that someone has to, except for Victor. she was the tough personality for him.
Right.
So
yeah, it's all very intriguing. Again, like I'm glad this kind of thing exists for them. I was intrigued, you know, because Elizaveta's throwing out a show program and all this sort of stuff. And then there's Kolyada doing the same free skate again.
listen, he needs to practice.
I know, clearly, because he had some difficulties here.
So did Zagitova.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that I expected. She didn't just come from a world championships, you know.
Look, it's been a long year. Kolyada's probably exhausted.
And in show lights now doing it for like, again, the motivation of what exactly am I doing here? And it's something, the venue, spotlights, for me, somehow cheapen that program. If there's like a lot of magenta light around him and
I
stuff.
just don't think that they lit his program appropriately. I think Sandra would find a way.
Yeah, I think there's an art to it. It's not just a series of colorful spotlights.
Eteri should call Sandra. You know, I don't know that they're the same taste level, but that is what Eteri should do.
Which is why she should call. Yeah, exactly.
I think Sandra's at home right now. She's probably, you know, she likes to like redo a house. So she's probably like in her cottage in Canada, like redoing an old bookcase.
Yeah.
Varnishing.
Yeah.
Just Eteri should call her. Okay.
I think so.
She could class up this production.
I think she really could, because I think that all the ingredients are there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Jonathan, this was not the most classy show, but Valieva did a quad toe under spotlight several times.
Several times.
So was Akatieva.
Mm-hmm.
Even Maya Kromich like pre-rotated the heck out of a quad under spotlights.
But again, something I never thought she was going to be able to do. So every time she does it, even pre-rotated, I'm like, I'm still shocked and amazed.
And Maya wasn't in the first few shows. We don't know why. We were given no explanation. I didn't realize she wasn't there at first.
It was a Home Alone situation.
Like, she's not there. I was like, did you miss her? I don't know. I didn't come on. Anyway. But how about Evgenia doing the triple sow, triple toe, questionable rotation, but she is fighting back, Jonathan. She is fighting back for relevancy. It is a bit like watching the cast of Annie when you know which orphan is going to replace Annie, and everyone's like, oh. And then you're seeing like the girl who used to be Annie come back on stage. It's
at this point, she's more of a Mrs. Hannigan.
Yes.
Yeah, I think like she's, and again, very cool if you took away the idea or somehow the notion that you were going to come back. Mm-hmm. I would say, wow, good for her. She can still churn out like a squeaky sort of triple. Good for her.
The triple loop was scary when she did it because
very much so. But like, instead of me being like, hey, good for her, I'm just sort of like, does she really think she's going to be able to do that? I'm unsure of the intentions.
Why did they bring back the Anna Karenina program? That seems a lot of people were wondering.
Very tribute to herself.
Bad connotations to it because you lost to that. I don't know. I don't know why they brought that one back. Yeah. I really wanted to see the Allegria program with the cartwheel. I feel like you can't go out on the cartwheel.
Yeah. Or again, as we've mentioned, don't do the cartwheel and then have Rika do her cartwheel right afterwards, because why invite her?
Don't do the cartwheel and then have Nadia Comaneci come out behind you. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm intrigued what will happen going forward. Shcherbakova going to the World Team Trophy. Tuktamysheva, they were on the airplane today. So I'm curious what's going to happen with all these girls. But you know,
it's very intriguing.
I think look, the Team Tutberidze show has entertained me over the last week. And usually there's a lull after the Worlds that's not happening this year. Right. So.
Well, and it made me wonder a little bit as there are a lot of eyes on Valieva moving forward. And we have talked about on the show, like, when do you peak? When do you rest? What is this sort of thing? There doesn't seem to be a rest period that's ever happening for her. And clearly there must be a plan in mind, but I hope that she's not someone who's actually peaking now.
I think this is their rest period, Jonathan.
I know, and that's what blows my mind, because in any other circumstance, I would be like, what are you doing? Rest. But
well,
I hope she can sustain this level for that long.
Skaters of the 90s and early 2000s weren't doing quads, maybe, but they would go on like a 3-month tour.
Yeah.
And then maybe take a week off and then get back into training.
But I don't know that like Tanya and Midori on a three-month off tour were just throwing in the triple axel under spotlights every night.
I think getting Tanya to show up to practice and getting Tanya to show up to the venue on time might have been, you know, a challenge for the Collins brothers. But I think that Michelle was there every day early asking if she could get extra practice time. And Michelle was just maintaining.
Yeah.
Working on her triple axel with Elvis Stoico and her triple with Victor. Like, I think it's all what you make of it.
Yeah.
So for some people, it's a very effective time.
Yeah.
If Kostornaia didn't have Eteri there to keep her in line, maybe she would be a little wayward as well. So I don't know. I'm excited to see what kind of comes, but I'm always like, oh, they're adding in the jump content, they're one-upping it. So.
And so now talk to me, you sort of mentioned this to me earlier about Tarasov and Morozov, who are also at this program, all three Russian pairs.
Titanic. Apparently working with Danny G on choreography, maybe for next season. There was a rumor today that they're going to be coached by Eteri. It was a rumor that came out of the blocker, Elena Rodina, who is tied with Plushenko's wife. That's like considered her main source. She's a very controversial figure in Russia. Not everything she says can be taken, but it's also spread on other like Telegram channels that maybe they'd work.
That intrigues me because it was clear that it's the same old story. We've been literally saying the same things about them since we first saw them. And it's this incredible talent, and it just doesn't seem to be organized right. I was very hopeful about the move to Marina. I felt very encouraged when they said that that was going to be their strategy. And I thought, yes, the material elevated from that of Nina, aka Elton John. And then a couple of times we saw their mental game a little more organized. And then inevitably we kind of slipped right back to where we were before. So, I mean, again, like we've mentioned, something we know Eteri's school does know how to do for their ladies is create that consistency. Now, these are with younger people. I'm intrigued with older people like Tarasov and Morozov, who have also been established, and we know sort of their struggles, what they can do here, because they may not have been able to do that for some of their male skaters. So I'm intrigued how this works with a pair and with a pair of this particular age.
I imagine maybe she's just consulting or, you know, working on, who knows?
They know something about consistency.
Yes, and in the training, but I don't know how, if you have a singles rink and then you try to train a pair or dance team, that becomes very complicated. So I don't know how they would do it. If they could do it, look, I think that they would need some sort of pair technician there. If they could bring Trankov in, you're going to need someone to give you tips in the lift, to give you tips on the twist. In terms of training and consistency and things like that,
in a way,
management, absolutely. But you do need someone to consult, even if it's just the twist, right? Or this is a team that doesn't seem to get along very well all the time, so you need some sort of a technician there. So, but
and of course, motivating and keeping two people consistent is very different than an individual.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will be intrigued if that is indeed the case. I will be intrigued what kind of method.
Now, the Titanic, if they fall apart next season, the jokes will write themselves.
I know. And they're skating on ice. Like, yeah.
I would like a voiceover. I want them to say "never let go" at the end. Like Elena Rodinova. Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. Gosh, remember her? I was thinking about her the other day.
Listen, I want to see her, Zhenya, Alena, Tuktamysheva, Sotnikova, Yulia could be like the Roz of the group. I want to see them competing under spotlights against each other.
Anna, Pogo.
Doing show programs and technical, right? So in the technical, you know, Zhenya could do her triple sow, triple toe, Tuktamysheva could bring the triple axel. In the artistic program, maybe Tuktamysheva wants to bring out, you know, the tambourine and the cymbals,
fake
saxophone, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Zhenya wants to bring out the straight jacket. Think about it. You tell these girls, please be dramatic and artistic and you let them use like show lights.
Yeah.
Maybe a prop or two.
And that's when you almost want to say, Danny, I dare you to just go way over the top with this one. That could be the venue for that.
I think it needs to be an Overbook production, but you have too many skaters who have a certain level of skating ability and a marketability, but maybe they're not going to be doing a quad toe like Valieva. I think these are becoming very different things.
Right.
And I think that if they don't change the age limit, that it's kind of the natural progression to have another, and look, it's more money for Eteri to collect her percentage off of. So this is good for everyone.
Agreed.
So you've got like the juniors, the seniors, and the old queens. Okay, I'm here for it. All right.
I'm not competing. I mean, okay.
Yeah. Now Jimmy Ma is getting his program in taking classical. He's getting his program. I didn't see him. I saw people there that saw them getting, and I heard he was doing Swan Lake, and I immediately thought, is Morozov giving him the Cyber Swan? And he's not. And I thought, if anyone should do some sort of remixed version, why isn't Jimmy Ma giving us like the Cyber Swan part with the Morozov footwork?
Yeah,
not doing it. Apparently they're going straight classical, and I think, Kolya, this is a missed opportunity.
I think so too, because Jimmy Ma has that extra thing that
he's like a lovable hot mess. Come on.
Yeah, most lovable when he's doing music that he really responds to.
He's in no danger of performing at Lincoln Center. Come on, just give the public what they want, and that's the razzmatazz. Right. Nikolai, it's what you specialize in most, the smoke and mirrors. Okay.
Right. It's a very ideal match, actually.
Come on. I'm upset. Okay.
And again, I don't think that he's one of those people that it was like, if Jimmy could just get his PCS up and they're going to try to use classical music to elevate that PCS. It's like Jimmy needs to entertain and be consistent. Mm-hmm. That's all.
And then we have, so this week, I didn't even tell you this. I wanted to save this for the show for your honest reaction.
Oh gosh.
Do you remember how earlier this year you said something about Lindsay Thorngren and not liking her program, and then her coach and choreographer like went off?
Yes.
Like went off.
Yes.
And like maybe I was originally going to work with that choreographer, and then I just decided not to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that coach of Lindsay Thorngren, they're probably getting funding for the Olympic year. So they've decided to hire, and remember, Lindsay's not considered a good performer. So when someone is a Brady Tennell type skater.
Oh, I did hear about that.
Who do they call, Jonathan?
Who do you call when not that I agree with the sentiment, but when you think you need someone to help make someone interesting, you call Benoit.
Is it becoming such a cliche that when you are an atypical skater, you are not the princess, you are not lyrical, maybe you're a little butch, maybe you're a little like non-typical.
You're looking for something edgy and unique.
When you're Daniel Grossel, when you're Kaori Sakamoto, when you're Brady Tennell, we call Benoit. To me, it's becoming a neon flashing red light sign. And the thing is, he can actually do interesting work. Like for Daisuke, he did very interesting.
I think it's totally unfair to Benoit that he's basically a fixer instead of a choreographer in many ways. Like, and I remember Alyona saying that. She was like, are you kidding? Benoit's like Paris programs, like some of his ideas are so amazing that most of these skaters can't even do this.
But I didn't appreciate Jeremy Abbott in that hood. That was scary. Okay. But I thought,
well, you got to take risks. Yeah.
Okay.
You got to experiment.
It's literally like Lindsay Thorngren. When I heard that she did Benoit, I mean, I was sipping my coffee. And someone goes, I'm at the rink on Monday morning, and someone goes, so Benoit's coming for Lindsay. And I was like, oh, dear God.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jonathan. Thanks. I'm going to get blamed for this one too. Oh my God.
But again, like I do, like you're saying, I do feel for Benoit, because when you become a reputation of a fixer or of someone that can sort of help those in that need, I feel like you can't ever kind of do what you want to do.
I am not crying for Benoit.
No, I'm not either.
You know how much money he's getting paid per program? That Olympic season extra funding from the USOC? Come on, all right?
Right.
But I just love the thought pattern. Like, oh, you and the
right,
other
it's all formulaic. All of these sorts of, they're so predictable, these sort of thought processes.
Like in other things that don't make sense. We have lots of different jump specialists around the area. Remember, I said we have got Viktor Petrenko. You have Roman Serov, who turned Nicole Rajic into Nicole Norzhikova and a triple jumper. Robin Solkowy is rumored to be coming to be the new like jump specialist. Very confusing. What you're calling a pair skater who did one triple? I don't understand. Like what? And like.
Well, and wasn't he in California at Jenny and Todd's rink?
He's been to a bunch of different rinks and hasn't stayed at any of them. So
that's what I'm wondering. Because again, he seems so interesting, and he's been in the kiss and cry, kind of smattered about with random.
He's also with Tarasov Morozov. Again, these are not great credentials, right? Things you don't want to be tied to. Being the artistic influence of Brady Tennell, and you know, being the spiritual leader of Tarasov Morozov as a pair. We're going to bring him in.
I don't know if people are just seduced by competitive track records or something.
No, I don't know.
If they just, I mean, this happens in music all the time too. Like some faculty at a school will be so excited to get this old famous singer, and I'm like, well, have you ever seen him teach? It's terrible. Do you know what I mean? Like you need to, in the same way with Lindsay, like I would hope that it would have almost been more of a personality connection that was driving their decision in a choreographer to who she feels comfortable with, who helps her feel vulnerable.
Jonathan, I saw her warm up. She doesn't even put music on when she warms up.
So someone who could like cultivate that whole sort of thing with her, like a Sandra, who is teaching about what it means.
Girl is an athlete, okay?
Yeah.
She could win in track and field. She could play lacrosse. Somehow she wound up in figure skating, and she's very good at jumping and spinning and training. But the whole artistic part of the sport, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But we have Benoit, so maybe he could give her some wide angles. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you do.
Even Cowrie, to come up with the shtick, like to mask the fact that she has a terrible spiral, they have her do the thing where she like slices the judges, and then they made it into a strap.
The highlight, it becomes a total viral moment for.
But that took years. Okay.
Yeah.
We had this whole whatever she was doing during the omelet. I don't know what that was.
They had to get. Yeah.
You know, it took a while. I don't know. This is poor Benoit. Okay. But anyway, he's doing an adult seminar. So, I mean, obviously I'm going because like I want to learn the smoke and mirrors too. Yeah. And I actually like Benoit and, you know, any of these. And my friend goes, Dave, we're obviously going to this. He can teach us how to skate in black and white. Because if you've ever been on Benoit's Instagram, the man doesn't believe in color. Okay. So I'm very excited for it. Yes. Amazing. So I'll put the link in the description. So I'm going.
Amazing. But it would be really fascinating.
Yeah. All the adult skaters. I mean, this guy is making money. You know, they are going to show up for him. Okay.
Yes. And right.
Adult skaters love a star. Okay. They will come out in force for Benoit. All right. I mean, awkward about, but I'm excited to meet Benoit and have a skate in black and white. I'm here for it. But yes, of course, Lindsay went to him. Of course.
Yeah. Formulaic. Yeah.
We weren't consulted. You know, we were not consulted.
Funny enough.
I just think it's like advertising. You know, it's just,
yeah.
All right, moving along, we have the World Team Trophy this week, and I'm getting kind of excited about it.
I'm getting kind of excited too.
Because
I do have one annoying question that I know you kind of hate when I ask you these things.
Yes.
So we have 6 countries competing. We have 5 countries competing.
We have 6 countries. You know, China withdrew because you know that China has such, my understanding is that they're not going because the skaters that go to Worlds have to quarantine for almost a month. My understanding is in China, they quarantine for 3 weeks and then an additional 5 to 7 days when they go into the training center.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that was my question is where the heck is China? So it wasn't that. And then I see we have 6 teams. And then I thought, oh, would they have invited 7, or did they just decide top 6 and somehow China was the 7th? Do you know what I mean?
No, I think China is not going, so they went to number 7 and put them number 6, I would think.
I see, but then as I was thinking about it, I don't know, is France really that much above China? I didn't know if China would be ranked 7th in these countries.
Look, Jonathan, I am not a skater from China or France. I show up to watch the competition. I think this is fun. Whether I see a ladies single skater from France or from China, I think both teams are going to be at the bottom.
But I think, I mean, it would have, I'm sure like someone like Boyang might have wanted another shot at competing.
Someone like Boyang might wanted again.
Yeah.
That sounds so glib, but like, I'm not spending a lot of time worrying about whether it's China or France and exactly why, which one.
I'm trying to remember in the Olympics.
I imagine it would be China because they have the pairs and they have Boyang to get points. So,
but France with Kevin and and Gabby Guillaume, I don't know if it kind of.
Gabby Guillaume didn't compete this year.
Okay, and they're just basing it maybe on the previous season. So France might be out.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
It's all right. You know what? We're gonna watch. We're going to enjoy, and I'm here for it. Okay. First things I want to know is, can Shcherbakova nail it and win again? Will Rika come back? Will Tuktamysheva have a shining moment? She seems to be on an upswing right now.
Yeah.
I don't.
And then, I mean, it seems obvious, of course, that Russia will get this by a landslide, and the United States seems safely in second. From Canada, I'm really intrigued to see Roman.
Well, he needs to do well.
Yes, I think that's really key. And that might be the real storyline there. I think Gabby and Allison and Nam, I think we know what we'll get there.
No, we don't. We don't know what we're getting from Gabby Daleman. That's why she's interesting, Jonathan.
Okay. See, I feel like we do know what we're getting from Gabby Daleman, but I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
Listen, there are some skaters competing that we've never heard of before. I think that Gabby's got a shot. Okay. I am excited to see Calvary. I want to see if Karen can outskate Brady again, because look, the way that I would start to look at this. It does say China was replaced by France, by the way, officially.
Okay.
As I predicted. Okay. So, the way my understanding, so we don't exactly know what the fall is going to bring for a couple of reasons. It has not been fully announced. If we're having all of these Grand Prix, everything is very asterisk. Everything is, there's like a kind of a plan A and a plan B. There's the Skate America where people come from other countries. And then there's the Skate America where it's almost like a quasi-US nationals in the fall. Right. Be that as it may, when you start to look at the selection procedure, it would then get adjusted. And knowing and not knowing what the fall is going to bring, every opportunity you get to compete is so much of a bigger opportunity, especially when Keegan had Skate America and a video that he sent in,
right,
versus a live video and monitoring that Roman had. And so anytime you get to compete in front of judges at a live arena is now such a bigger chance, right? Yeah. To even be there is such another opportunity to set the narrative and to build reputation. If Karen beats Brady again, that would do so much to help Karen secure a spot on the Olympic team. If Karen can outscore Brady again, I think it's very similar to, the gymnastics team, when it's every time you compete during the year, it does help build reputation and it does help build your case to being on the Olympic team.
Well, it's that body of work. It's only making it deeper. Yeah. So
should Jason Brown skate well and should Karen Chen skate well, I think those two skaters have a huge opportunity, as well as Alexa and Brandon, because I think Nathan is already going. I think Hubble and Donahue, you have to think, are going to the Olympics. And I would say that Chalk and Bates are in there as well. So I would think that these people are getting close to being lock territory.
Right.
Unless they are injured or, take 6
of course, one never knows, but yes, as perception is looking at it. Yeah.
not just perception, but when the selection committee goes into select, you have to think that they're making their case in terms of
this exact thing, this exact moment. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think for Alexa and Brandon, huge opportunity to skate well, to skate better than they did at the Worlds. And if they could place in the top 3 here, even
which I think they should be able to do.
They could place in the top 2.
Yeah.
If they can do that with a good performance, I think that they've kind of locked up an Olympic spot.
Yeah.
Should next year be, they be in the top 3, right? I think that they are moving in that direction. So,
and I hope Jason tries the quad sow again.
I think Jason needs to try it and get it out there in competition. My understanding is that Tracy is not going and that Jason is going solo here. So
interesting.
Because in Canada, the coaches have to quarantine
right.
for 2 weeks every time that they would go to one of these competitions. And at this point, they have to start getting ready for the Olympic season too. So they have actual coaching to start getting done. So they kind of have made that decision, I think, not to go here based on scheduling. So just kind of a reality of COVID. I think different parts of the world are in such different realities right now.
Yeah.
But we did see that Matteo Rizzo did withdraw. We'll still see Daniel Grasso, Nam Roman, Kevin Amos, Kolyada, Semenenko, Jason Brown, Nathan Chen. I feel like third, fourth, fifth, that's a really interesting.
Yeah, well, so is Hanyu still going?
Hanyu is going, yep.
It's another matchup. That is
another matchup.
I will be intrigued to see how he feels after something like Worlds, if that it'll send you one way or the other. And Shoma also, because I think he actually had a promising Worlds. I think he might be feeling good after Worlds. Hopefully.
Shoma did a clean short with a quad triple and a triple axel and kept it together. That would be the biggest victory here.
Right.
Free program aside.
Right.
I think the short program for Shoma, key at this competition. Jason, I think, has to do the quad in the free and hope to land in the top 3 for Jason would be huge here. Even if he's 4th, but I think a top 3 landing quad.
Tough, which that's between Shoma and Jason. I think that's a tough. I think Shoma might be able to pull this off because somehow the frivolity of the World Team Trophy, which again I don't understand. That's not why I enjoy the team event. Is this some sort of cartoonish high school pep rally kind of vibe to it? I like it in spite of that, not because of that. But it does seem for certain athletes, as we know, the World Team Trophy is where he first rattled off the quad flip. Maybe somehow they view it lighter in some way, and maybe he can let loose and do really well. I think it will be hard for Jason to be 3rd. Unless
it would be hard. Look, I think Roman Sadovsky should go for a 3rd place finish. I think Kevin should go guns blazing. I mean, these are guys who should be treating this very, very seriously.
Yeah.
Jason as well.
This is funny hats and sunglasses they'll be wearing in the kissing.
I think they all have a job to do here. And I think for Jason, it's landing that quad. I think for Kolyada, it's showing that he can do 2 clean programs and be competitive in the mix. I think for the only one that doesn't have a ton of pressure is Nathan. However, will Nathan go into that higher gear? Can you force it twice? And does he really need to?
Right.
I mean, if Yuzu comes, I think Yuzu's going to skate up here. I think he's going to take it serious. I think he should, because realistically, Nathan just was at the highest of peaks, right? When you do win,
yeah.
I think timing, Yuzu could definitely close the gap a bit. Nathan, whether or not Yuzu is to win here, I do think he could close it between the two of them.
The thing. I know we don't have Keegan, but really, other than that, this is still all the top men from the Worlds minus Yuma.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a tough field there.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be good.
In the pairs, Alexa and Brandon, I think doing clean programs, the jumps, the throws, getting that done. Mishna Galyamov, I think it's about skating clean, proving it was a fluke. I mean, they don't have any of the other Russian pairs here, any of the other, any of the Chinese pairs. So I think they really need to just do their job.
Yeah.
I think for Nicole and Matteo,
it's been a slippery slope, unfortunately. So I think but I don't see anyone beating them out for third.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
In the ice dance, Caroline and Shane not being at the Worlds a little bit forgotten this year. It's a big opportunity for them to show that they're still amongst the top competitors. Guinard and Fabry, I think they have pressure on to be second here because Hawaii and Baker, I think, could have a good showing here. And then you've got Masato and Tim, and then Vicky and Nikki. They need to just.
Yeah, I'm sure where it's going to be. I'm sure that Vicky and Nikki, even though we know that they're clearly going to run away with this, I think the numbers will tell the tale now, and I'm sure the numbers will be astronomical here.
Well, they're performing in the Team Tutberidze Champions on Ice show, so they're certainly, they didn't take a vacation after the World. They're still on the ice.
It was interesting. After talking with Renee Roca, I now want to go back and watch Caitlin and Jean-Luc do their 1 foot, whatever, because she was.
People did watch it, and they said she knows what she's talking about.
And quite frankly, she gave me another reason or a different way to watch the Italian team when she kept talking about their holds and watch their hand grabs. It gives me a total reason to tune into their free dance in a different way than I would have otherwise. So I'm intrigued to see those two teams again and looking for those things.
I'm manifesting that she works with Alexa and Brandon this year.
I hope so.
I haven't heard
a lot to offer, especially in pairs. That Lion King program was great.
Okay. I was trying to describe this move when we were talking to her, and I felt like a little bit like an idiot. There was a move where she's kind of in a plank, but he's like grabbing her. So it's their program to Everything Must Change. And I'll link it in this, I'll link to Benoit and I'll link to Everything Must Change. And I'm such a fan.
But in the comments, Dave, everyone knew what you were talking about. They're like, of course, the blah, blah, we love that. Dave is right. Like, we love that program. She was like, oh, I don't recall, but everyone else did.
I felt like an idiot in the moment. So
yeah, exactly.
It's like, was I inventing this Renee Roca program in my mind?
I just remember their leap of faith. That was the first time I ever saw that thing where she'd pick in and just hurtle her body into the air and he was behind her to catch her upside down.
So she's an intense girl.
Yeah.
She is intense.
Yeah.
And my one Canadian friend Tara was like, I don't know that I like that Renee Roca. I'm like, it's because she didn't like the Canadians.
Yeah, we knew the Canadians were going to come for it because
she's like, I don't know that that's it. Why? I'm like, I think that's why. Listen, she is Renee Roca. She is intense. I remember when I talked to her about Papadakis and Cizeron for the Olympics. She called because we were originally going to do a show with her for the Olympics for the ice dance, and was something with scheduling. It didn't work out, but she was like, "Let me just tell you, I cannot believe that dress mistake happened. Anyone in the show knows you put that 5 different ways to make sure that dress doesn't fall."
Yeah.
Skaters have the strongest reactions, both positive and negative to things.
Yes, I agree. There were a couple of conspiracy theories that went around about that dress. Primarily pushed by skaters. Not fans, but
that's for once. Okay. Fans love a conspiracy theory, so it's great. Yeah, but I'm ready for this World Team Trophy.
And it's gonna be fun. Do you know? I mean, I can't believe I'm being that guy. Dave, how do we watch it? I'm hoping this one's on Peacock Premium as well, and I hope that it's Mark commentating, but we'll find out.
I think he is supposed to do the World Team Trophy.
That would be nice.
He may recap it with us. We were talking about doing it. So I'll have to follow up. Usually, listen, we'll tell you how to do it. I don't know. Is it on?
We got this.
Wait, is it on Peacock? Let me look. I'll log into my Peacock right now.
Everybody, stay on the line.
Stay on the line. I don't know. Saying I have to check later. But yeah, I think the Peacock, listen, one way or another, we will get you these videos, whether they put them on YouTube or whether it's on Peacock.
We got this. We got
it. It's no problem. Channel 1, everyone subscribe to it in Russia.
It did throw my YouTube algorithm into like a frenzy when I subscribed to Channel 1 from Russia. It was like, wait, what do you like? We don't even know who you are anymore, Jonathan. Okay.
Jonathan, you should be subscribing to First Channel. You need to feel more Russian, okay?
Yeah.
Let the skating wash over you.
Yeah,
okay?
Don't fight it. Don't fight it.
Galina had the most Russian thing this week, positive coaching, right?
Oh,
her new thing. She really enjoys getting under my skin. So when she wants me to do something, or she's trying to change the footwork for the 17,000th time, and I'm like, are we gonna have enough time for the end of the season? Because I need like some time to get it into my muscle memory. And she'll be like, when I look for your name at the end of the competition, my goal is for you to be here. I think you would like me to be like, oh, where am I looking? Oh, there's your name. There.
They're at the bottom. Yeah. Amazing. Thanks for that, Galina. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. It's her new.
It's her new
positive.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I guess like she thought that I wasn't aggressive enough in my footwork this week, and she was like staring at me, and she goes, "What do you hate in this life?" She was, and I was like, I don't.
How much time you got?
I'm. What kind of you don't know how to answer that question for someone? I'm
like, can you put it into some context so I can help you out here? Yeah.
She wanted me to be more aggressive.
You're like, I think if you said that, I could comprehend it.
Yeah.
I think I could do it. Yeah.
All right.
You don't need me there around this way. Yeah.
She loves to ask questions. Like, tell me please. Okay. Tell me please. What edge is Lutz? You know that when you answer that question, it's going to be met with a remark. Okay. Just like...
Tell me, please, is all the red flag you need for whatever.
Tell me, please. What did you say about Shcherbakova free leg? How is your leg right now?
Funny. She's funny.
Hysterical.
Yeah. As not being on the receiving end of it, I find it very amusing. Yeah.
Very amusing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're giving me Sleeping Beauty on your spin. You know, you're like, oh my God. We're doing all of the Russian exercises. When they want faster spins, you pull out the two water bottles and then you bring them together.
Cool. Yeah. Okay.
Added momentum. Oh yes.
Okay.
And yes, it's all it's lovely. Yeah, this week I was trying to explain to her that I don't enjoy when she yells right when I go into a jump or right when I'm going into a twizzle that I'm nervous about.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she didn't understand it or she just chose not to hear it. And then she just went into how she's not an American coach and she's going to tell me the truth.
And you're like, oh, I'm not asking you to not tell me the truth. I'm asking her when you do that. Like right before the twizzle is maybe not the moment I want to hear it. I'll hear it, but maybe afterwards.
I think this is just an argument that I'm going to lose. Okay. It's just something we're just going to get.
Have you ever won an argument in this scenario?
Debatable.
Yeah.
Debatable.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's just more fun to be had by all. But yes, so, you know, what was your moment of the week, Jonathan?
My moment of the week, I think it's just like looking forward to the team trophy, getting closer. So merely the fact that like seeing people are going to it, that I don't know if I can even talk about anything in that show being my moment. Excuse
me.
I don't want
Kostornaia program in the show as she's coming alive and giving us all these lovely like performances. I'm here for it. What I'm not here for is that violin playing. I was just like, what?
Menacing teddy bear moment. I don't know. That was something about that was very odd to me. But again, it's clear I don't understand its context. But
did we get the Daria solo on the First Channel? I don't know that we saw it.
I don't recall seeing Daria.
Justice for Daria. We're not seeing enough of her. And
she's the one I'd rather see the most of, quite honestly.
Yes, she's doing some impressive things on that Instagram with her Ina Bauer and all of it. So, yes, hold an edge and look sexy, everyone. Bye.